I'm Nick, I'm the MD of Vaughtons. We are a bespoke manufacturer, been producing since 1819, everything from a car badge through to a Royal Commission. I mean, if you go back to the likes of Rolls-Royce, we were the original badge supplier to them. They were looking for someone that could produce a quality product, handmade, outstanding performance in how it stands up to the elements. So, it has to survive the cold, the rain, the heat, acid, the oils involved. So when we started doing those back at the turn of the 20th century, it kind of stuck. And then from then on, we then took other automotive manufacturers in with us, so the likes of Aston Martin, McLaren, Lotus, etc. But there's a lot of processes that goes into producing a badge like that. Our main ethos behind producing a car badge goes back to our roots really. We're a bespoke manufacturer, so we produce jewels. So then we took that ethos and then we produce a jewel for a car. So as far as technology goes, production-wise, we still use the same machines that we would have done 200 years ago, 150 years ago. Everything is stamped from sheet metal. The enamel is hand inlaid, the parts are hand polished. But obviously moving forward, I want to try and use new technology and the traditional methods. We've already started doing that with the tooling that we produce is all CNC cut. We use CAD. It's cut using CAD operated machines. So that's where the technology comes into it, but still we revolve back to the traditional manufacturing methods of the presses and the hand polishing. I suppose the best thing to do is why don't we go and take a look and see how they're made and get involved in the factory. Production process wise, once the concept has been approved, the price has been approved, and then the tooling has been created, that's when the real work starts. So the badges themselves, to make a standard Aston Martin Wings badge, we start with what's called a blank, which will be the piece of metal. This is put into a large press and stamped numerous times with around 600 tons of pressure. Once the detail is up, we then deem it ready for the next stage in the process. That's when it will then go to the enamel. So the enamel that we use is called vitreous enamel. It's effectively glass. That gets laid in by hand. Every piece that we do, the enamel is laid in by hand. It's fired at just under 1,000 degrees, and then we use a series of linishing belts to smooth that glass down so we get the glass-like texture. We then go on to the polishing. So that's another big part of the process. Everything is hand polished, but it's not just a quick spruce under a lathe. It's 7 or 8 different series of mops and belts because we have to smooth that material down. The metal surrounding the enamel has to look as smooth as the glass enamel that we put into it as well. So there's an awful lot that goes into it. Quality-wise, the badges are inspected at every stage of the process. So it's not like we put the badge through the full production and then check it at the very end. We make sure that once the parts have been stamped, they're quality checked, enameled, they're quality checked again, polished, quality checked again, and that way we then get what we deem is the perfect badge. And the final stage is the chrome plating. So again, this will undergo an automotive specification chrome, which means it will survive again the outside elements, your ice, your acid, scratch test, stone test, heat test, which is all important for an exterior part on a car. Aston Martin's ethos over our badge is that if ever in 50 years time or 100 years time there was a barn find and the car is unrecognisable, the one thing that should remain perfect is the badge, so that you know that that car that you found in that barn was an Aston Martin once. And this is why we are so stringent on quality checks internally, and also why their quality requirements at Aston Martin are so harsh as well. But it's only because they want the perfect product. I mean, the best way to experience seeing the badge being made is to come and pay us a visit. We're always here for factory tours. They go on every month. We have 30, 40 people a month come to look around the factory. We get them involved as well. They'll sit down, they'll try enamelling, because that's a big part of it, is they then understand how difficult it is. Some people will go, it's just a badge, but actually it really is a jewel for a car, for the effort that goes into producing them, definitely. To see someone holding something that you've made and to have them speechless in front of you it does make you feel good that you know you've done a good job.